Hey everyone, just a little update here. A couple changes on these three tools. I added used a steel color, obviously on this guy, on the in-between side. I had a different color, but it just wasn't dark enough. I again looked at more reference material, and that should be pretty dark. So I added that, and then also same thing here. That band should be pretty dark as well. That sort of steel gray, so I did that. And you'll also notice on I originally just used a marker or a weathering crayon, pencil crayon on these, and I changed my mind on that and actually did end up using some paint. I just used NATO black, Tamiya NATO black, and darkened those in so they just have a little more consistent look, and then added the dots on the back as well, which are also black. So that's the big changes there. R2 himself is pretty much together now, so all of the bits and pieces have been completed. He looks just great, really just awesome model, just like R5. Goes together really, really well. And yeah, I haven't done the weathering on the feet pads yet, but all the rest of it is done. All of the decals are in, and yeah, all together looks awesome. He's ready, just needs his head. And that, as you know, I'm working on. I have been doing some testing tonight, some more on the colors, and so I'm going to be going with the white gloss background, which is this row or column, sorry, and this is the black gloss, and I just don't like it as much. So I'm going to go with the white gloss, and I'm actually leaning towards this guy, which is the Vallejo silver. So that's, I think, the one I'm going to go with. It's shiny. That's kind of the right color, maybe a little dark, but actually the more I look at it, I think it's just right. This is the Vallejo aluminum, which is close. And so, tempting. This is this is Mission Models silver. So it's similar, but just doesn't quite have the shine that the Vallejo has, so I kind of prefer it. And then this is the Mission Models aluminum. So kind of the equivalence between the Vallejo and the Mission Models, and just the Vallejo metals. These I really like these metal colors. Very nice. Have a nice shine to them, and as with so many of the Vallejo acrylics, they just smell so good. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So tomorrow I will on these guys, as you know, it came out really great. My dome is perfect now. Second time, the charm got it crystal perfect. So I will get the white gloss base on there. That's this one. Apply that tomorrow morning, and then or tomorrow at some point anyway, and then I will get the silver, and you apply quite a few just very light coats on that. So the silver, it takes a while to lay this down. Hey guys, fun Saturday morning here, just doing a little bit more just some weathering for R2, just like I did for R5, just adding just a little bit of weathering on the foot pads. And really, in this case, it's nothing fancy. It's really just adding, there's little lines that are imprinted into the model mold, and so really just dashing those, and then I'm going to come in after and add just a little bit of this kind of thing along the base of the foot pad as well. So just kind of adding a little bit of this idea of weathering there like that. So it's nothing too fancy here. you can see how that's going to look. I've already gone all the way around on that one, I guess. I was looking to see which one I missed, but add this here. Yes, that's got all that around on that guy. Actually, I'm just going to add a little bit of that foot pad. Weathering there. Just like R5, I'm not interested in adding very much weathering. I really prefer I want R2 and C3PO to look like they just came out of the hot oil bath. Nicely cleaned up. But the feet, I mean, that's just worn down paint. So oil bath is not going to help that. So that's why I don't mind adding the weathering there, because that is literally just the paint is not there anymore. So you can see, I think that looks really, really good looking. Got all those? Nope. Missing this guy. So do these first here. Not helping, it keeps moving on me there. There, that's got all of them done there. So let me just start adding a little bit again. Being worn off here. Almost actually got it all the way around there, I guess. It's all the way around as well. Further along than I thought I was. Not thrilled with that, just that top part right there. Kind of went over a little bit. Yet again, one of the advantages of the weathering pencils. Darkening a little bit to add consistent. Make the level of darkening just slightly more consistent across them all. That's looking really good. There we go. I think that's really looks great. I'd also just finished painting this guy. So remember, this is the part that was kind of I had to redo. And so I just taped it off and added the silver around the panel. There's actually a little, what I did was I put the sticker inside here. Actually, I'm not going to do that yet because that's still wet, but there's a sticker I put in there, the off sticker at the base, because this is a little monitor inside there. And then I'll take that out so that the silver paint did not occur there. It's just going to be the flat gray, and then that should be just a little bit more a better surface for applying the decal, the colored decal that'll go in there to show that that R2's processing there. So yeah, that'll be ready to go here a bit later. Today there's not actually a panic to get him actually changed out, because I still have to work on the dome. Dome pieces, which just came out of the paint booth here, and you can see they have the gloss white now. All the pieces that are going to be doing that are all ready with that coat to start. Yeah, it looks really, really good. I'm super happy with that, and we know with that coating or that base that we should be able to get pretty much exactly this color. So, and that's the one that I think that just looks really great, and will be pretty much perfect for R2. It was a toss-up between the aluminum and the silver, but I just think the silver is slightly better match, especially if we look, if you look at that R2 color, it's a little bit kind of got that slight darker look to it, and in other photos as well, it is just a little bit darker. That got that more. It is a tough call. They both could look really good. There's the panel I'm talking about, the little lit piece in there. So we'll be doing that on our, and you can see the little silver outline, so I've done that. The only thing is I actually have silver obviously down into it as well, so it's slightly not perfect, but it's pretty good. And I had the same thing with these guys. Hey everyone. So, lots just been working on R2. His paint was dry, and I used a gloss coat. Actually, I used All-Clad Aqua Gloss, so I gave a nice coat over all of the aluminum parts. And remember, I ended up using this aluminum. So yeah, and the All-Clad too, it's not actually technically made for these metals, but it kind of worked pretty nicely. I'm really happy with just the right level of shine that I'm getting on that aluminum is just right. So really happy with that, and just really loving how it kind of came together. Remember this area? That worked pretty well. So I've got that piece was added after, and that's how I was able to do all of this painting without having to worry about these pieces, and I think it looks really great. Came out really, really nice. Actually, I'm going to give all of this a wash. My thumb, I was pushing on some of these pieces, and so it does need just a little bit of washing here. But all the pieces are nicely in there. And it just looks really, really great. I'm super thrilled. I have the periscope in there right now, just for the heck of it. That spot, obviously, so the top part goes up with it. There is actually this piece that, if you don't have that on, will go there. And then this piece is actually used if we're going to use, I think it's this one. Yeah, this one can go in, and that's where that just goes up like that. And I think it's the antenna here that goes in here like that. So then it kind of flips up like that and looks awesome, of course. Really, really a big fan of this whole thing. So then, of course, there's my R2. So I'm just at the final stages. I haven't actually put the head on here yet. So I was just looking at the instructions. Kind of was just took a bunch of time just getting this all together. There's a surprisingly large number of little bits and pieces there that go into that top dome. Don't ever underestimate the amount of work that goes into that dome. There's this piece, obviously, and then we should have one more silver piece. That the edge is my aluminum here. Let's see if that works any better. Well, yeah, that does work a little better. So it looks like maybe it needs to be a very particular way. Possibly there, I think, maybe. Okay, so that's now together, which is great. And this now attaches under here. Yeah, this attaches under here, like, ought to be like that. It's gotta be like that, I think. Ooh, careful. Yeah, okay, good. So that is, I should take these off while I'm doing this. Don't want there to be any unfortunate accidents. And I also just want to, while I'm going to be pressing here a little bit, I just want to get be a little bit careful here. Don't want to break anything. There we go. It's a tight fit. for sure. Nice. I think that's got it, actually. Lovely. Yeah, that's excellent. So great. What an awesome model kit. And then, of course, yeah, and then that can just go, oh, wow, that just looks great. Wow. Really awesome. Super, super happy with that. So hats off to Bandai there. That's a really nice model. So, yeah, I'll just leave this periscope up for now. I'm not going to use a lot of the other tools here. I'm not even going to use that guy. I'm just going to put this back down. Like that. There we go. Yeah, that looks really great. I think you can see it from that. I'm not sure if you can see it from that angle. I'll take obviously some pictures here, maybe take it, actually have C3PO ready to go as well, so you can see them both together. Which is where they really shine, obviously, sitting together. That's a really neat thing. They did a good job on that, I must say. Just gonna clean that a little bit there. Very, very, very nice. So quick update on just a kind of refining R2 still here a little bit on his dome. At a certain point I had inserted his main red eye, and it didn't quite, because of the painting that I'd done on that. I realized kind of as I was taking pictures of it and just a little bit later that it wasn't quite as far in as I wanted. It kind of was just indented a little. So this morning I just decided to take it back apart and to re-pop that out and to do a little bit of sanding. So I was able to do that. The tool I found to be able to take this part off was just a really good putty knife, and could slip it under there and just get the prying happening. It is kind of a gentle thing with it. I didn't want to be damaging the paint or anything, so that tool seemed to work pretty well. I was able to get that off. And then in terms of kind of punching this back, I literally just used a Q-tip and applied some pretty good pressure, steady pressure, to get that to pop back out. And so now I'm just ready to, what I'm going to do is just sand these edges, and you can actually see where the friction points were, where it was just not able to quite smoothly, they just that it's fractions of millimeters here, but it's enough. This is so finely, the tolerances are so fine that it's impacting its ability to be able to slide in there. And even on this front face here, or this, not front, but the little edge piece right there even. And because it's just millimeters, fractions of millimeters, I don't need to take a lot off, I don't think, but I'm just removing a bit here. Just being careful to avoid the front faces. I don't obviously want to touch that, as that's my main paint. I'm going to even slide in here a little bit, and on each side of this, just do a little bit there, so you can see you can even see on the sandpaper getting the kind of mount that I want off of here. So I even want to go along here, because that's partly where it's kind of connecting in here as well. So make sure even this part all the way down and around this little stub. In hindsight, if I was to do this again, or if you're doing it, you might want to consider actually literally taping off everything around other than just the front face of these, because that's and just maybe the slightest bit underneath that, because you don't so that you're not getting paint on any of the areas where you need those fine tolerances for inserting the pieces. There's two of them actually. I'll be doing the same thing back here on this one. You can notice how it's inset. So I have the same work in front of me here to get that to come out properly. So I'll be doing the same thing here in repeat. Hey guys, just a quick update. So I was able to, as you know, was sanding away on the front panel, and I think I've got it. It's flush now, so you can see it took a lot to get it to be flush. And I don't know that it can even actually go any further. If you look at the sort of the one beside it here, it is that looks to be snug up against there, and this is level with it. So I don't think it can ever get any better than this sort of just flush. It's not going to come out sticking out at all. And I was actually looking kind of online and actually looking at the for the advertising for the model. They have pictures, and that is pretty much exactly even what the professional build. Like I think that's as good as it's ever going to get. That's the Bandai sort of version there. So I'm pretty happy with that one. As I say, a lot of work came in and out a few times, but worth it to get it kind of more perfect. This side has been a lot of work. It's not quite flush, but it's very close. That one is a lot of pain to get out. I had to, not whining here, but just so you know, actually get out the X-Acto and actually cut out the little bottom hook. I don't know if you can see that in there. It actually goes onto a little circle, and it's just a really tight fit on there. So I had to literally be able to cut that to loosen it, and just a lot of force to get that out. And then I spent a lot of time, actually even got out a thicker sandpaper 320 to really just take down all those edges, cleaned the edges of the receptacle as well. So the silver part had also, of course, been painted, which is another factor in all this. If I was to do it again, I would probably again tape over, so there's no chance of getting paint on the insides of these openings. Anyway, but it's pretty close. It's certainly it's a lot better than it was. It was pretty far back before. Now it's almost flush. Maybe like the smallest millimeter or fraction of a millimeter. It's not quite. But I don't think I just don't think there's any more to be gained there. I really think it's up against I was looking at the thickness. I mean, it's not exacting, but as far as I can tell, that is, we may be up against the flush there. So, yeah, I may just have to go with that. I mean, I think it looks really good. You really can't. It's not something that's standing out at all. This one looks fantastic. So I think that is going to be, I think I'm really happy with that. So really glad to have put that time. Yeah, it's a bit of time, and of course, you could remedy all that by just doing some precautions up front. So that's probably just a lessons learned here. If you are looking at doing this and looking at painting, putting your own silver and your own blue, to be careful around these openings, and also on the pieces themselves. Try to just paint the fronts and only the fronts on all of these surfaces. Everything you're seeing here, paint that, nothing in behind, if at all possible. And it should be. If I'd been thinking better, I could have done some taping, and it would have saved a lot of effort, and might have made this. Although I'm pretty sure I'm pretty close to where it needs to be, but it might have even been better. It would just be easier, for sure. Anyway, we'll get them back together, and then take a few pictures here. It's looking great, as you notice. I do have a restraining bolt on them now. There, it's just held on with just some temporary. I just have some temporary sticky masking glue there, so it can come on and off easy enough. It didn't come with the kit. I actually got a spare one on a different model, which another build that I've done, C3PO. He came with two, so I painted both of them. Restrainer bolt coloring there. You can see the black in the background, the gold on the front, and then the silver on the outside there. So that's brand new. Anyway, so that's another nice little addition there. So just love my R2, and hope this was helpful. Oh, and also, this is a really handy pair of pliers for getting at that last piece to be able to get in there underneath and pull from that. So that's a nice tool if you are facing a similar circumstance or need to get that out for some reason. That is the tool of choice. Hi everyone. So after I finished bringing my little panels, kind of getting them a little bit more flush, all the way around actually, turned out I needed to push in a couple of them as well a little bit more. So overall, I'm really happy with how the panels have turned out. I think I'm really happy with all that. And I realized, so I was doing that I forgot one decal that's supposed to go around the sort of front projector piece there. So I'm just going to do that right now. So just give me 1 second here. Just put it in the water. Usually count for about 10 seconds here. Yeah, I just happened to, I was kind of having obviously was looking to see some pictures of that area and to see how it looked on others, and even on the model at the Bandai site, and I found, that like I had mentioned that I think I've got it at the right level of flushness, but what was funny was I realized I did not have the black around that, so that was a bit of a oversight. Alright, just going to put a little bit of my micro set here around there. I'm actually going to remove that little lens. I believe is something that I can, just to make it easier to get at and to put this decal on, I think is make life a little easier here. Alright, let's see here. Slightly awkward spot, and it's a very different shaped, because it's going on a sort of round surface. You get a lot of interesting angles and things going on with this decal. It's a little different. Just get some water there. Add a little bit of water onto that. There we go. That's already kind of moving around a bit there. So what we're going to do here, I hope, is actually just get it started there. Okay, not a work of art here to start with, but gets it on. And then I think this part actually has to go up here. I noticed there's a thicker spot up here. Yeah, there. There. So then bring it around from that spot. There we go. There, that's, I think, pretty close to it here, actually. I'm going to put this here and then try, it's still a little bit loose. little teensy bit tighter. Just taking some of the moisture out here, which will make it pull up just a little bit. I hope that's right. It seems like an awfully big decal for the size of the thing that we're doing here. But okay. Let's get some microsol on there. This is a big step because it's, once you get into this, it gets a little harder to change your mind on anything here. Not impossible, but harder. Get quite a bit here. Okay, let me just let that sit for a bit. So I'll let that not budge here for a little bit, and we'll check back in a bit. So quick update. I've done a couple of rounds of microsol on that, and it is starting to come around there, as you can see, and it's starting to come down. I'm just going to add just a little bit more. Make sure it's nice and set down there. There. So that looks pretty good, I think. It's a very unusual shape. I did a little bit further research, and it does seem like that thicker part is near the top, and so I did kind of spin it a little bit to be a little bit more top facing, which is what you're seeing there. Now, oops, sorry, didn't mean to unzoom you, just meant to focus there. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think especially once we get the actual piece in there, the actual little lens part, I think it's not like it's so you're not only just seeing that surrounding piece, it's just a part of the look there, I think, which is the important thing. Yeah, really coming along. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. Hey everyone, so just while I was letting my dome, if you recall, we're just letting that dry, the decal there has finished, and as you can see, it's really settled down nicely, as we were hoping, around the main lens there. So that's really coming along, looking just great. Super happy with that. And one of the things I realized when I was doing a little more research to find out where the unusual shape on that went, which I'm still hoping I got right, but I mean it's not an exacting science there. But anyway, I did discover that front one actually has this area is darker, almost black looking. I don't think I'm going to use black there. I am going to paint it, but I'm going to use my Vallejo steel. It's a very, very dark, and I think it's kind of actually the right material. I've already shook this up. I'm just going to put a drop here. I don't need much, obviously. It's a really dark. You can see when I add it to the palette just how dark that is. It's almost black, but it's just a really kind of almost got a metallic, obviously, dark blackish thing, but I just think more accurate to what we're actually looking for here. So I'm just gonna try and carefully paint the edge here. Yeah, you can see that's, I think, the perfect color that we're looking for here. bit more. Mm-hmm. So I think, yeah, that's really great. It's got the right dark shade there. Not quite black, but it's not. It's very, very dark. Which is the look that I was going for here. I'm just going to clean the front face off. I don't want that color at all on the front of it. There we go. Yeah, because on the front it's not. Let me just verify that. Yeah, yeah, the front is not, it doesn't, that darkness is not. Well, it might be, I think maybe I will actually change my mind. It's very hard to tell. It's a very thin, in the movies it's extremely thin. And so it looks like it might actually be the same steel color on the front. Just like that. Good. That's perfect. Nice. Let's see if you can see that a little better. Just zoom up here a bit. As you can see, basically just along the edges of that are now that dark steel look. And then the inside is still the nice silvery color, and it's pretty reflective. That's a very metallic, that gives it kind of reflective, which does, it's sort of what it sort of looks like. Should be obviously more glossy, but it's almost like a metallic glass in there, it looks like. Anyway, just thought I'd show you that little extra detail while we're waiting for that to dry. So this is just kind of a wrap-up video on my Bandai 112 R2-D2. I have it's got the very latest, all the changes that you would have seen by now, including the darker lens caps. It's got all of the decals now, which is great, and completely in place there, and just looking awesome. I absolutely love the look of this model. It's just great. And don't forget all of the tools that go with them. I guess I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I haven't actually put on the final, probably going to put a semi coat on that to seal them in. I've been, as you know, if you've been following along, I have made little adjustments to these over the whole life of the build, adding little improvements and researching, just having a lot of fun with the tools. I have installed them all. If you watch some of I think the pictures at the end of this particular video, you'll see some of the photos with his various tools, and it's just really awesome. Yeah, I can I've done obviously a lot of models over my life, and I can honestly say this is really one of the one of the most fun models to build. It's just pure joy almost, and the enjoyment factor on it is really, really high. It's I just adore him. I love to look at him on my desk. Even the R5 is I didn't think I'd really be that interested in him, but he's just great. He sits right on my keyboard. I really enjoy these models. They just look so great and so adorable, and detailed and fine. So they punch way above their weight class in terms of enjoyment level, and there's no doubt about that. Highly recommended. Hope you enjoyed going through the build, and just the process. But mostly actually a lot of paint issues, obviously getting that dome to be exactly right. I'm thrilled with where it ended up, and just the right amount of shine and just the right the right color there, and smooth, just the way we want. And then even on my blue color, that is, again, if you watched, lots of debate and lots of testing different things, but I love the combination of that blue and purple that I ended up with. I think it, especially in different lighting conditions, came out perfectly, and just what I wanted. So yeah, and he's got his little third leg there. Interesting, the way to bring out the third leg on these guys, you have to pop his head off to get at it. I don't know if I ever actually showed that. And then his other legs just slide back like that. So again, really, really well done. And I like that lets me be able to spin the head, well, spin it, but you can turn the head to any particular position that you want, just like that on his 3 legs. And just as adorable as could be, R2-D2. So yeah, he's a great companion piece as well. I do have the C-3PO and the same model line. Highly recommend, if you enjoyed this one, to check that build out as well. I actually have a couple versions of that one. That's my first micro build. Every second of that build is actually recorded. There's a playlist there if you have nothing better to do with. I'm not sure how many hours it ends out to be, but a lot, and you wanted to follow along, you can certainly do that there. Yeah, so that's it for the R2 build. Oops, sorry. It's a very thin tip on that particular tool there. Hope you enjoyed it, and certainly if you did, please like and definitely subscribe if you can to the channel. I'm kind of new to YouTube and just recording some of my model building experience, and the subscriptions are really helping and encouraging to make me want to even do more of it, and hopefully it also lets me know the content that you're enjoying and what kind of level of detail you like. Thanks for watching, and hope you'll stay tuned for the next ones.